Yeah, recording is on now. So, welcome to the 20th session of BW4HANA online training. Thanks for joining early. The reason we are joining early today is because people have requested me to cover the migration topics. So, basically, migration to BW4HANA. What are the different paths to BW4HANA? What goes on in the migration? To cover the theoretical aspect, of course, the practical I would not be able to do. We don't have the previous version, and mostly it will be a basis activity, but we have to know what goes on and what are the different types of migration options we have. So let's quickly discuss that, and then we will start our main class at the regular time. Okay, so the conversion strategies and tools. So for the migration, let's see how the migration happens and what are the different options for the migration. So available path. First of all, we have to know that for going to BW4HANA, what are the different available options with us? And can we directly go to BW4HANA 2.0, or we have to go to BW4HANA 1.0 first and then we go to 2.0? So those questions will be answered. So let's see the available paths. So what is our goal? Our goal is to convert your current BW system to a BW4 HANA system. And there are two different strategies. The strategy number one, the same box, same BW system, you are upgrading to BW4 HANA. This is called in-place migration. That means you don't have a separate server. The same BW production box will be upgraded to your BW4 HANA. That means the SID, system ID, which is a three-letter system ID. Every system will have a three-letter, every SAP system will have a three-letter system ID. So your system ID will remain the same. It will not change. Okay. So that is the first strategy, and that is called in-place migration. And that has redesigned current applications. That means you have to redesign your current application because you are upgrading the same objects, your current info cubes, your current DSOs, your current multi-providers to the advanced DSOs and composite providers. And then clean up and delete the obsolete objects. So once the migration is done, you will do the cleanup. The second strategy is called a new system strategy. This is the same system strategy, first one, and the second one is a new system, meaning the SID will be a new SID. So this is a separate server. You are not upgrading the current production box or the current server to BW4 HANA. You are keeping that as it is, but in parallel, you have a separate server. Sometimes it's also called a sidecar scenario. Sidecar means both the systems are side by side, you have kept, and you are not touching your current production system. You are actually transporting objects from your current system to this new box, and this new box is already on BW4 HANA. You are just transporting, or sometimes we can also say importing objects from your current box to your new box. And while doing the import or transport, your objects will change. A multi-provider will become a composite provider. An InfoCube will become an ADSO. A normal DSO will also become an ADSO, so on and so forth. So it's a fresh new system which you have installed. It's already there on BW4 HANA, and you carve out the existing future-proof BW applications or build them from scratch again. So you have both the options. Either you can build the object from scratch because it's a new system. You can start your development fresh, or you send the objects or transport the objects or import the objects, whatever you want to call it, from the existing system to the new system. And that's what we usually do, because nobody will, create everything from scratch again. It's going to take a lot of time. So we already have invested so much time and effort in creating existing models. We just move them to the new system, and while the movement, the change happens. and then phase out existing BW system and roll out the new BW4HANA system. Once you have tested your new system, once you have run the reports on the new system, then gradually you can phase out the existing production, and all your reporting will point to the new system. Okay. So these are the two basic strategies. On a nutshell, the same system strategy or a different system, new system strategy. Some clients, they go for the same system, which is called in-place migration. And some clients, they say that, no, I don't want to touch my current production. So I'll get a new server, BW4HANA, and then I will import objects from my existing production. So question to you guys, which one of them will have a downtime and which one will have almost zero downtime?
Sidecar scenario has almost zero downtime.
Yes, exactly. The main reason why people go for the sidecar scenario is they don't want downtime of production. Here, in the first option, if you want to upgrade the same box to BW4HANA, then you have to take it down for maybe 2 days, 3 days, whatever time it takes. And that's going to be your downtime for production. For those 2, 3 days, the system will not be available to anyone and the upgrade will happen. Here in the second option, you don't need to take your production down. So there is no downtime. The only downtime what you will have is for the reporting system, when the reporting will switch from the existing BW to new BW4HANA. And that takes few hours. That's all. You are not going to have a downtime for days altogether. And that can happen on a Sunday, a couple of hours or 3 hours. Anyways, you will do that rehearsal on your development system and your quality system and your UAT system if you have. So you already know, right, what can be the issues when you switch all the connections from reporting system to existing BW and then changing it to the new BW system. So you already know. So it just takes few hours. That's all. So this is a
Actually, recently we have migrated to Azure. Okay,
okay cloud.
so yeah, Azure cloud. So we had a similar kind of scenario, like sidecar scenario, but still we had around 2-3 days a downtime in that case also.
Why?
But of course, when we will migrate within a same system, then it will be more than 2-3 days, of course. But here downtime was less.
So still you had 2 to 3 days of downtime.
2 days, on Saturday we have planned it.
Hmm.
We have performed our pre-migration,
Hmm.
and actually it's one day. So after
Yeah.
yeah, it's one day, and during the night, Saturday night, it has been migrated,
Mhm.
and next morning it was ready for us for post migration testing.
Correct. Exactly. Actually, if you ask the basis team, it takes few hours only just to switch the connection. Yeah, there might be few tasks for before migration, after migration, but very less. When you are actually not touching the current box, those uh, activities will also be very less. This is where we will have more activities and you will have more issues also. See, this is a new system, so issues will be there, but there will be much less issues than the first. So yeah, you're right. So this is the diagram which will tell you that what are the different options or the paths to BW4 HANA. So if you see, the first one is your in-place migration, or some people say conversion also, right? So in-place conversion, where there's a BW system, you have to upgrade it first to 7.5 powered by SAP HANA. Then you have to install an add-on, which is called a starter add-on, and then you go to BW4 HANA. Okay. So you cannot just directly go, if you have 7.3, you cannot go directly to BW4 HANA. First, you have to upgrade to 7.5 powered by HANA. So if you have a BW on Oracle, you have to first upgrade your application server to 7.5 and also migrate your database to HANA. So it should be first to BW 7.5 powered by SAP HANA. Powered by and on HANA is the same thing. So 7.5 on SAP HANA. Then there is a small software which you need to install, and that software is called Starter Add-on. And Starter Add-on will enable you to go to BW4 HANA. This is a prerequisite. And once you have that, and once you have made sure all the activities are done, you go to BW4 HANA. This is the in-place conversion. Second one is you don't have any prior data warehousing with you. No BW, no third party data warehousing, no ADW software at all. First time you're installing a data warehouse, right? There you don't need anything else and no other activity. You freshly install your BW4 HANA and start doing your development. That is called pure greenfield. Pure greenfield means no existing system or prior system. It's the first time you are installing data warehousing software in your landscape, and you have chosen BW4 HANA for that. So you can do that. So you don't need any conversion activity there. Then the second 2B and 2C are basically the second part, which is your new system. So within new system, we have two sub parts. One is called shell conversion, and the second one is called remote conversion. Shell conversion is also called accelerated greenfield, and remote conversion is called brownfield. Okay, these are some other alternate names you might hear. So you should be aware if they are talking about accelerated greenfield, this is basically shell conversion, and brownfield is remote conversion. And then the fourth one, here they have called path 3, I'm calling it fourth. So we have the in place first, shell second, remote third, and system consolidation fourth. So system consolidation means you have multiple BW systems. There might be a case where North America has a BW, Europe has a BW, Asia Pacific has a BW. So different regions have different BW systems in your organization, and you want to consolidate all the data into your corporate BW system or global BW system, and that you want to be BW4 HANA. So there is a special service from SAP. It's called System Landscape Optimization SLO service. So you have to talk to SAP and then get this particular service. Once you have the contract signed, they will send a team who is specialized in system consolidation, and then you will have an SAP BW system which will basically you will migrate all the BW systems which are region specific BW systems to BW4 HANA. So that is a fourth type, which is done using a special service. Of course, you don't have to take the service. You can do it yourself, but migrating multiple BW systems into one BW4 HANA system basically has some complex tasks involved, and that's why SAP has provided a service to you for that. So
So
these are
Devanshu,
different paths.
uh,
Now,
yeah,
yes.
Devanshu, one question. So, like, since as you mentioned that we will be having a multiple BW landscapes there,
Yeah.
so what is the reason why they are like what is the goal here to consolidate all the different multiple BW system into one BW for HANA? My question basically related to multiple BW systems, since why like at the first place they were having multiple BW system, why they can't go for multiple BW for HANA? Yes.
No, definitely they can continue with multiple BW systems, but sometimes the client don't want multiple BW systems because of the cost factor. Maintenance is huge because you have to maintain 3 or 4. Reconciliation is a big problem, right? Sometimes the data does not match between the different regions uh, as expected. Then you can have certain requirements where you have to combine data from multiple regions for corporate reporting. So because of the cost factor, multiple licenses, they don't want multiple licenses for BW. They don't want the additional hassle of reconciliation between the different regions. They just want one corporate BW, which will consolidate for them. And if you want regional data, you have everything in one system. You just filter out your data from the reports, and you will get your regional data. So they don't want that hassle. They have, seen maybe a lot of issues, licensing cost, and some other corporate reasons might be there. So they
Mm-hmm.
are dissolving their regional BW systems. Or it can also be that they want a separate software. They want to replace the regional BW system with some other system, maybe Microsoft's data warehousing, or Snowflake, or any other cloud. They want to replace that, and they just want to keep one BW instance for the corporate. That's all. So there can be
Mm-hmm.
multiple reasons depending on company to company. It's not just one reason I can give. It's depending on the
Mm-hmm.
company. It can have multiple reasons.
Correct, correct. So, what is the what kind of conversion we will do, in cell conversion and remote conversion, like brownfield and greenfield? What activity need to be performed?
Yeah. See. Okay. All of that is coming right now. I'm going to explain that. Okay. So please hold on to your questions. I'm going to explain shell conversion right now, the activities for remote conversion, and let's
Okay,
not ask questions in between. Okay. That's basically because we are already at 8:04. So I would request you to please stop asking questions right now. Please let me cover the entire presentation, and most of your questions, 99% of your questions, will be answered. Okay. So just please bear with me and let me complete this.
okay, perfect.
Okay,
Okay,
please
then.
be on mute, guys. No more questions before I end this presentation. So we talked about the shell conversion, we talked about the remote conversion, right? So shell conversion in a nutshell, and we'll go into details for that. Shell conversion is basically without data. So all your models will go from the original BW system to your new BW system, the BW4HANA, without data. That means you're only transferring the models. You're only transferring the cubes, the DSOs, the multi-providers, etc. Not the data inside them. But remote conversion means you are transferring the models with data. So data will also get migrated to the new BW4HANA system. That's why we call it brownfield. Brownfield means you will have existing data also going in remote conversion. Okay, so in place conversion, let's see the points. So what is the target group? Customers who want to change their current BW system into an BW4 HANA system, who are already on an up-to-date release. Okay, so if you're already there on 7.x, like for example 7.4 or 7.5, and you just want to go to BW4 HANA, then in place conversion is the best for you because you are very close already to the BW4 HANA version. So people who already have that, in-place conversion makes most sense for them. In-place conversion keeps the existing BW system and transfers it to BW for HANA. So SID is the same. Okay. Approach without re-implementation. That means there is no without re-implementation means you don't have to create your models from scratch again. You already have that, and you just are migrating to BW for HANA, meaning your models will automatically change. So here also, you don't have any re-implementation done. Existing business processes will remain the same. The only thing is downtime will be there definitely because your same system is being migrated. SAP provides tools like your SUM DMO. DMO stands for Database Migration Option. It's a part of SUM. In basis, people will identify this. Uh, SUM, I think, stands for Software Update Manager, or I think something like that. And then there is a sub tool as part of SUM, which is Database Migration Option (DMO). So as part of the SUM and DMO, this is the activity. The BW for HANA migration can be done using SUM DMO or SWPM software. I forgot the full form of this software migration tool or something is there. Some is software update manager, I think, and then DMO is a sub tool of some, and the DMO is actually used to do the migration. ABAP release upgrade, SUM, and BW application conversion, transfer cockpit. So you have to do um, all the different components upgrade. As I told you, You can't just directly go to BW4 HANA. In BW, you will have application server and you will have database server. Application server has to be upgraded. The ABAP application server has to be upgraded to 7.5. The database has to be migrated to HANA 7.5. So it should be 7.5 on HANA. Then you add the add-on and then you go to BW4 HANA. So that's what it's saying. So you need these tools, and these tools will help you with your application server upgrade and the database migration also. Release requirement, what is the minimum requirement, is 7.5 SP05 powered by HANA. This is the minimum release you have to go to for the starter add-on. Okay, if you have any prior release, then starter add-on will not be successfully installed, or if it's installed, then it will not work properly. So the minimum release requirement is you have to go to 7.5 SP05 on HANA. But recommendation is that whatever is the latest in 7.5, go to that SP level. This is the minimum. That's all they have highlighted. But recommendation is going to the latest one. Greenfield is basically a new system ID, new installation. So first one was in-place conversion. So these are the salient points of in-place conversion. Second is Greenfield, which is a new system ID, no prior existing BW system. So then what is the target group? Target group is the business warehouse customers or net new customers. Guys, I'm still hearing some feedback noise. Can you please mute yourself, guys? Okay, I think. Okay. All right. So new installation means that your target group is business warehouse customers or net new customers. New installation of BW4 HANA. So if you have a legacy system, say for example, you didn't have a proper data warehouse and you were just doing SQL Server based data warehousing or some other legacy system, and you want a proper data warehousing tool, it's a greenfield, then you just go for a fresh BW system, build your data models from scratch. So that's the activity you'll have to do. So you don't have any data models from your previous system. You have to build everything afresh. Re-engineering and process simplification based on modern data warehouse architecture. So all the modeling tools, all the different objects, new objects like ADSOs, composite provider, you can now start using in your new system. Then the second part was a fresh system, but you're not doing everything from scratch. So it's called accelerated greenfield, also called shell conversion. So what is the target group? Business warehouse customers or net new customers. Again, if you already have BW system, prior BW system, or if you're going for a fresh system, both of them can have shell conversion. For customers who want a fresh start, SAP offers an option to transport different objects which are called metadata. Metadata means the models which are your DSOs, InfoCube, etc. from existing BW system to a newly installed BW4HANA system. So this is a sidecar approach. There will be two systems, two servers. The objects are converted into BW4HANA supported objects during the import to BW4HANA. So InfoCube will turn into an ADSO when you do the transport. Here, the data will not be transferred. Master data or transaction data will not move to your new system. Only the objects will move. The data has to be reloaded from the original source or from the original BW system. So if you want the data, then either you go to your S4 HANA or ECC or your source, or you can load selective data. If you don't want all the data which is there, then you can have a selective reload from your original BW system to your BW4 HANA. So definitely the connection has to be there, RFC connection has to be there, and then you will load the data from the original BW to new BW system. The technical solution is similar to remote conversion, but without data transfer. So the only difference between shell conversion and remote conversion is data will not be there in shell conversion. What is the release requirement for this? 7.x regardless of which database. So you can have 7.0 on Oracle possible, 7.3 on DB2 possible. So this is not dependent on the database. You can have your BW system, but minimum release is 7.x. You cannot have a 3.5 system and then go to BW4 HANA. You have to upgrade to 7.x. And once you have the 7.x, then you will have the options to, do the conversion. That means send the objects to the new system, and it will automatically convert into the BW4 HANA newer objects. Generally available from March 2018. So this is what is shell conversion. Again, we'll go into the details. Don't worry. I'm just telling you the salient points of the different types of conversion. Then we come to remote conversion, which is also called brownfield. Remote conversion means customers who want to change their current BW system into a BW4 HANA system and who are on older release level and not on SAP HANA. So that is a target group. That the remote conversion means that you have metadata, which are the models, and the actual data inside them, which is the master data and transaction data from the original BW system. Opportunity to pick and choose only future-proof data. Future-proof data means that the data which you want in the new BW system, you can have a selective process. That means you want that, okay, I want only these multi-providers to go, and then I want these multi-provider flows not to go. So you can choose when you do the shell conversion or you do a remote conversion. You will have something called scope transfer. So when you do the scope transfer, you are defining your scope, that these are the objects or this is the flow I want to migrate. Okay, you don't need to necessarily migrate everything. So in this remote conversion or shell conversion, you have an option to choose that what you want to move, because sometimes what happens is that there are some flows which are obsolete, there are some flows which are not working, and there are some other reasons you don't want the flow to go there because maybe there is something missing in that flow. So you want to build it from scratch, right? So you don't want the exact same flow. So you will choose that, okay, these flows I will not go, I'll not choose, I'll not move to BW4 HANA, and these are the flows which are good, and I'll move it. So that's called scope transfer. And that's what it's called future-proof data, meaning you can pick and choose. So that you have a clean BW4 HANA system, you don't have the unnecessary objects there. Convert BW objects into newly installed BW4 HANA system, multiple persistent objects like info cubes, classic ADSOs, PSAs, are all replaced by your advanced DSOs while doing the transport. No database migration or BW application upgrade required. Release requirement for original BW system is 7.3 regardless of any database. So here for the remote conversion, you should minimum have 7.3. Database, you can have any database, but the version, application server version, should be 7.3. And this is available from April 2019. And then you have your landscape transformation or consolidation, SLO, system consolidation, where people have different BW landscape, multiple production systems, or carve out selected models. They want to go into a global BW system. These customers can run multiple BW on HANA system or hybrid cases. So they want to consolidate them into or migrate them into one BW4 HANA system. Then we have this option. Customer-specific conversion project required with SAP support, reusing standard tools, service offering from SAP's data management and landscape transformation group. So this is a special service where SAP will come and guide you and will chart out a plan for you. Stay with current data warehouse landscape and move gradually to BW4 HANA innovations. So you can say that, okay, I have 10 regional BW systems, right? And I don't want to decommission all of them. I want to just decommission few of them to BW4 HANA, and later on I will merge the remaining ones once I'm ready. So you can gradually move. You don't need to merge all your BW systems at once. That's not necessary. You can, of course, pick and choose your regional BW systems. Harmonize data models and shared master data through consolidation, right? So there are different BW systems and there are different data there and there are different models there. You want to converge them into one or two simple models or one or two consolidated models. So that's why it's a little bit complex. Your data gets harmonized from different regions. Data will be clubbed together in one or two or three ADSOs, and then consolidation will happen there. Again, you can carve out single entities of company to SAP BW4HANA and leverage process simplification. There's a conversion guide there on the BW4HANA website. So you can refer to that. It's called Conversion Guide for BW4HANA 1.0. There will be Conversion Guide for 2.0 also available now. So you can refer to that. And there's an SAP note. This is a very important note. This is the central note for people who are planning for a conversion to BW4HANA. It's 2383530. And this note will give you all the different details, the different steps you have to do, the tools you will have to use during the conversion, so on and so forth. So this is the tool. There are some attachments, BW note analyzer. So during the time, at the time of conversion or migration, you might need to implement a lot of SAP notes, and those SAP notes sometimes will fix the problem for you, and sometimes will give you some tools. Some SAP notes are specifically to give you some tools like your migration cockpit or conversion cockpit, then your pre-checks, and then few other tools you will have to do. You have to run those tools for the migration, pre-migration, post-migration, etc. So all that is delivered as part of the SAP notes, and this note analyzer will give you a program, right? Z SAP BW note analyzer. There'll be a Z program you'll have to create. Once you create that program and run it, it will tell you that what notes your BW system is missing, and then based on that, you have to work with your basis team to implement those notes so that you are ready for the BW4HANA migration. So all those detailed steps are mentioned in this particular note, and this attachment will give you that ABAP program which you will create in your system and then run it. Then there is another SAP note 2575059. This is for readiness check. So before you go to BW4HANA, you have to perform a pre-check and you have to perform a readiness check. There are two different checks. So readiness check is at a higher level. Pre-check it is at a granular object level. So both the checks are required. And once you have performed both the checks, you have made sure all the errors or the issues are resolved, then you actually start the migration. So these are the pre-migration checks you'll have to do. So again, there's an SAP note for that. And then you have the transfer cockpit. So SAP BW4HANA transfer cockpit will also be delivered as part of the SAP note, which I mentioned, the central note. And the transaction code is RSB4HCONV. This is for the transfer cockpit. Once you implement those notes, this T code will be available to you. And once this transaction code is available, the transfer cockpit is available. That has a preparation phase and then it has the realization phase. So there are two phases. First is preparation, second is realization. Before the preparation, you will do readiness check. So basically, there are three steps. First step is readiness check. You will perform, there's a tool, okay? That tool will give you the details of what you are missing. Then you do the transfer cockpit, and within transfer cockpit, you will first do the preparation phase where you will execute pre-checks, you'll execute scope transfer, sizing report, you will scan your code. Are there any coding which you have to modify manually, cleanup reports, standard authorizations you have to transfer. So all that is part of the preparation phase. And once everything is done here, then you will actually do the realization where you will choose which objects you want to migrate, that is scope transfer. Okay. And then you will do the actual migration run here. Okay. Different for each conversion approach. Conversion approach means shell conversion, remote conversion, so on. So please remember that on a nutshell, on a broad level, there are three steps for the migration. First, you do the readiness check. Then you come to the transfer cockpit, you do the preparation phase, and then finally you will do the realization phase for the migration. Okay. So this transfer cockpit provides several tools to prepare and execute the transfer of BW applications into BW4HANA compliant objects. So once you do the transfer or the import, transport, your objects will automatically become the BW4HANA compliant objects. The preparation phase is independent of the conversion approach. The conversion approach, whatever it is, shell conversion, remote conversion, the preparation phase is common. Preparation phase you'll have to do for all the types of conversion, and based on what conversion you are choosing, your realization phase will differ. Okay. The preparation phase can roughly be divided into two parts: the readiness check and the preparation task provided by the transfer cockpit. So readiness check is your first step, and there's an SAP note. Once you implement the SAP note, your readiness check can be done. And the second thing is your transfer cockpit. So what is readiness check? Readiness check is a holistic system analysis for telling you that are you ready for a smooth transition or you are not ready for a smooth transition. So SAP readiness check for BW4HANA is a self-service and summarizes the most important aspects. So this is how it will look like. So this is your result of readiness check. Okay. There's a web link also, launchpad.support.com, and readiness. You can see that what kind of output you will get after running the readiness check report. So we have four components of readiness check. First is add-on compatibility, then it is simplification items, then simplification objects, and then BW4HANA sizing. So it gives sizing details also. It gives you add-on compatibility because lot of add-ons might be installed on your BW4HANA server. So are those add-ons compatible with BW4HANA during the migration? That kind of details it will go. It will show you simplification items, total items it will scan and it will give you objects level detail. Okay, it will provide you, and then sizing also it will give you. So there's a self-service readiness check for BW4HANA. After implementing a few SAP notes, the note I showed you, you will be able to collect the relevant data into a zip file, okay, which can then be uploaded into an SAP cloud service that generates a readiness check cockpit. So this cockpit, what you are seeing is basically when you go to this launchpad SAP support.com readiness, they will ask you to upload a zip file, and that zip file will be result of the SAP notes and the program which you will run for the readiness check. Once you upload the zip file, it will show you the details in this particular format, the dashboard format. So what are these four components? We have the add-on compatibility. This check shows how many add-ons are installed in your system and whether they are compatible with BW or for HANA or not. There might be some situations where your add-ons are not compatible. So then you will have to either uninstall the add-on, or you have to upgrade the add-on to the latest version, and then it becomes compatible. So then basis team will have to work with you. You will find names of the add-ons, the vendor, whether the vendor is SAP or third party, and then the compatibility status, whether you can go or not. This helps you to figure out whether you need to follow up with the SAP third party vendors to ensure BW4HANA compatibility for an add-on, or you have to remove it completely. Okay. For details about the add-on compatibility, there is another SAP note. You can check further details there. That is the first thing. Second thing which readiness check will give you is the simplification items. What is this? This is basically a new and updated data structure and architectures for data warehousing processes. Therefore, solutions reflect increased simplicity for faster innovation. 80 simplification items for BW4HANA 1.0 are given. For a customer, only a limited number of simplification items from the existing list are there. Okay, this is all not so relevant. SAP readiness check for replace simplification items for relevant for your 7.x system. Whether a simplification item is identified as relevant or not. Okay, your question is, what is a simplification item, right? Simplification item means what objects have replaced the existing object. For example, your PSA PSA is no longer possible or available in your BW4HANA. So it will tell you that these are the different PSA tables your BW, existing BW will have, which will be simplified into an ADSO. So you will have these many ADSOs created to replace the PSA layer. So simplification item means that what has replaced your existing objects. That's all. So it will tell you that, okay, you have 50 PSA tables. Okay, these will be simplified into an ADSO. They will no longer be a PSA. There is no PSA. Then you had info source. Info source will stay as it is because info source is still relevant, right? Then you have info package. Info package will no longer be there. It is simplified now, and we have DTPs, which has replaced the info packages. So simplification items means that what has replaced what, and it will give you the list of all the items here. If I go back to the dashboard, it will give you the list of all the items of different processes which will be simplified. Process for at a staging layer, there are different processes like PSA falls in the staging layer. Then in the reporting layer, what things are simplified, meaning your multi-provider is no longer there. It is which will be replaced by the composite provider. So it will give you the simplification items as per the different processes. It is recommended to execute SAP readiness check for BW4HANA on an SAP BW7.X production system where some transaction history and system usage for at least 4 to 6 weeks is available. That means your BW system, your existing one, which you are planning to move to BW4HANA, should be at least 2 months old. I would say 2 months old, and usually, of course, it is more than that. It is 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. And then it should be on 7.x, preferably on 7.x. Then the simplification items can properly read all your objects, and then it will give you that what will be simplified. Then you have object compatibility. This presents compatibility check scanning your complete BW4HANA 7.x system for all types of objects. For each object, it checks the count. For example, number of info cubes, how many cubes you have, and then objects are compatible with BW4HANA or not. So basically, there are some incompatible objects. So there will be a split between objects that can be converted automatically by the system. Okay, and there will be a list of objects which will not be automatically converted. You will need a manual redesign. Okay, so for a manual redesign or a deletion, okay, if a redesign is not possible, then you'll have to take care of it manually. If incompatible objects are found, the corresponding simplification item and a link to its documentation is displayed. So this object compatibility and simplification are connected, right? Because when the system is scanning, it will definitely find something which is like, for example, info sets, right? Maybe info sets might not be automatically be migrated. Just an example, okay? It might not be true. Info sets probably are automatically converted. But say, for example, info sets are not compatible. So it will give you in a red list that, okay, I cannot do this automatically. You have to take care of it. Okay, either you have to create it afresh, or you delete this and then include this in some other flow. So something you'll have to do. So this is called object compatibility, whether system will automatically be able to take care or you have to take care of it. And then we have the sizing. Sizing means that you will find the information of what is the total size of your BW4HANA system you should have, and then you can compare that what you currently have sized is correct or not, right? If it is less than that, then you'll have to increase the size of your BW4HANA as per the sizing report, and then you are ready for the migration. So for detailed analysis of sizing report results, so whatever results you will, again, this is a ABAP program. All these are basically ABAP programs you will run in your existing BW system. And where will those ABAP programs come from? SAP notes. So the SAP notes, when you will run the SAP BW note analyzer, then it will give you the different notes. Once you implement the notes, you will get the ABAP program and you will run the ABAP program. One is for the readiness check, which will give you all these 4. Then the next one is for the transfer cockpit, which is also a transaction code, which will give you. So these are different SAP notes, result of SAP notes, which you have implemented. And then it will come your transfer cockpit. So first thing is you will do the readiness check. Readiness check is different from the transfer cockpit. Okay. Readiness check is separate. You will implement a different SAP note that will give you the ABAP program. You will run it. You will save the file as a zip file, upload on the SAP website, which is launchpadsupport.com readiness. Then it will give you this dashboard look. That is your first check. Then once you are done that, and you have seen that what is the different issues I might have, then you go for the transfer cockpit for the pre-checks. Once you have taken care of the readiness check issues, add-on compatibility issues, sizing related problems, if you have, so all that you have to make sure you are ready and you have resolved that. Once you have resolved that, then comes the transfer cockpit, which is basically your preparation phase and your realization phase. Okay. So I'm stopping right now. It's already 8:32. So we will continue this in our post Q&A today. And if time does not permit today, then we'll continue tomorrow. I might not be able to continue today because I have the introductory session planned for the next batch today at 11 o'clock. So for half an hour post class, I'll try to cover a little bit more, and then remaining we will cover tomorrow, because I have a lot of other things to be covered. So basically, as he asked, what are the different activities? So in place conversion, what are the activities? For remote conversion, what are the activities? And for shell conversion, what are the activities? All those activities we'll have to discuss. And then I have an assessment also for you based on whatever we discuss. So it's going to take a little bit of more time. So I don't want to take up the main class time. Let's take a 5 minutes break. I'll just come back in 5 minutes, and then we will start our main class.